Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off because today I will be reviewing as well as paging through Folk Magic of the Haven Isles, which is from MonkeyBlood Design and Publishing. Is this a must-have addition to the Midderlands OSR setting, or essentially any fantasy role-playing game? Or is this just a little too light of a snack that you can easily take a pass on because it's not a very big page count? Well, you're going to find out right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. As I mentioned in the open, I will be reviewing and paging through Folk Magic of the Haven Isles in just a moment. But I do want to remind you, first off, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, ring that notification bell because it will not only let you know when I upload videos such as this, it'll also inform you when my live stream, The Daily Dope, airs right here on YouTube, Monday through Thursday nights, as I bring you the latest in tabletop gaming news. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Without further ado, we are talking about Folk Magic of the Haven Isles. It is from MonkeyBlood Design and Publishing. It's written by Richard Marpole with illustrations provided by Glenn Seal. The 60-page book is available in hardcover, which includes a PDF, for around $29. It all depends on what the exchange rate on the pound sterling is going for at any point in time. You can also get the PDF over at DriveThruRPG for $13.16. At least last I looked. Once again, might be a little exchange rate going on there. But anyway, let's jump on over to the other camera and let's start taking a peek at Folk Magic of the Haven Isles. We'll flip this on over, and I got to point out the text on the back was a little hard to make out. I'm kind of surprised. So it just gets kind of lost in here. But it says this is a role-playing supplement for magicians and wizardly types of the Haven Isles, inspired by the folklore of the real British Isles. This tome includes 14 magic user subclasses, 16 magic user backgrounds, 7 tomes or spellbook ideas, 16 magical spells, and 4 oddities of the Haven Isles. As I mentioned before, this actually is part of the Midderlands setting, which I have really enjoyed from MonkeyBlood Design. It is a fun kind of, it really is a standout OSR kind of setting that that really incorporates a lot of the legends and myths of the British Isles. I've had a lot of fun with it. I have reviewed the Midderlands as well, so if you'd like, be sure to check that out. So we're going to jump on in. We're going to start taking a peek. This is about 60 pages, as I mentioned before, and we're going to get the different subclasses of the magic users, and we will get a bit of background text about that kind of subclass, as well as some new rules that might be utilized for them. I thought this was really cool because as opposed to just being, well, a magic user, we have kind of different kind of classes, kind of subclasses to kind of jump into, and they're all interesting. Nothing's real overpowered or anything like that, but they all have an interesting kind of twist to them. So for an example, we've got the Bog Chanter. We do have a lot of images throughout the book. I will say that I would have liked to have seen maybe fewer images. I know, amazingly enough, because I am a big fan of fantasy art. Fewer images, a little more gameable information, usable information as well in the book. But what is included is really cool, really nicely done. So just kind of going through the various different subclasses that we've got. Hermetic Magician. One day, Indigar would transform the lead into gold. Either that or the process would kill him. The Masked Dancer. The different subclasses, some have a little more information devoted to them as opposed to some others. Also, we've got some new spells that are included in this book as well that can be utilized by some of the various different subclasses included as well. The Stitch Witch. The Toad Man. This is just a fun supplement, I have to say. It really is. And if you are into the Midderlands whatsoever, you are going to get a kick out of this as well. So then we get a variety of different backgrounds that can be utilized for these magic users. So we've got like the Arcane Gloom Bugger. So the Gloomium is one of the aspects of the Midderlands setting. It's kind of this almost like a radioactive substance that kind of corrupts. It's almost like if we were talking about, say, like Warhammer Fantasy, almost like chaos. It's got a bit of a corruption to it. It gives a lot of things just kind of a green tint. So we've got Court Astrologer, Cultists, Demonologists, Mad Hatter. So kind of cool. And then we've got some random tables. So what's weird about this magic user? You can certainly roll on that. It's like, it's always raining wherever they are. Anything they say 3 times is true. Now we get some magic tomes. We're also going to get some oddities, some new oddities for the Haven Isles, which are always a highlight of the Midderlands books, as well as the Midderzine, which is a zine that comes out that's devoted to the Midderlands setting. So we got the new spells. If I remember right, I think there's 14 of the new spells. Find Riches, Find True Love, the Gloom Ray, Misfortunes, Speak with Sea Creatures, Time Skip. There you go, transmute lead into gold. Or die trying. And then here we've got the oddities. So we've got the Mandrake, Robin Shadebreast, True Lava Bread in a Wizard Hole. Then we get some references, I should say here, because you can utilize this without having any of the Midderlands books. But if you are already into the Midderlands, then this is really going to be useful for you as well. But there is a glossary to kind of help you out if you have not utilized any of the Midderlands books. And that is basically it. This is an open game license product. So we've got the OGL right there. And that is your look at Folk Magic of the Haven Isles. Let's swing on over to the other camera. I'll share some thoughts about this book, as well as my review score. If it'll swing on over and change here. There we go. I was like, what's going on? Hey, come on, camera, let's go. Switch on over. I like the Midderlands setting. I think it's fun. I think it's kind of odd. I mean, there's some aspects to it that if I were running that setting, I would probably minimize. I got to say, I'm not necessarily sold on the whole Gloomium, but maybe I think I would still utilize it. I just don't think I would have it with such a presence as it does in the setting itself. But I think this is very fun. I think the subclasses are cool. The backgrounds are fun. And it allows the players to come up with something a little bit different than just, I'm a magic user. So the Midderlands actually is kind of designed for swords and wizardry. But of course, any sort of OSR rule set, which is fantasy role-playing, you can easily utilize this. You can even 5th edition Pathfinder, what have you, you can easily utilize these ideas that are in the book. That said, as much as I do like what's in here, I'm kind of surprised it's in a hardcover. It's only 60 pages, so it's much shorter than the other Midderlands releases. I don't know if it needed to be released in a hardcover. That said, you can get the PDF and the hardcover for around $29, of course, plus shipping, because this is coming from the UK. Maybe go for the PDF if you don't want to go for the hardcover itself. But I do like what's in it. I just wish there was a little more of it. As I mentioned when we were taking a look at the book, I think there's a little too much artwork. I would have liked to have seen a tad more gameable material in Folk Magic of the Haven Isles. Now, by no means does that mean I don't like this. I think this is a blast. I just think the Midderlands setting itself is a blast, and this is just more fun to include for Magic users and wizardly types in the Haven Isles. So, at the end of the day, on a scale of 1 to 10, I certainly give Folk Magic of the Haven Isles a very solid 8 out of 10. And of course, as I mentioned, you can get the hardcover from MonkeyBlood Design and Publishing, or you can snag the PDF over at DriveThruRPG. Do want to also mention that the Gaming Gang is affiliated with DriveThruRPG. So if you are going to visit the site, please stop by thegaminggang.com first, click on one of our banner ads, and that way if you happen to make a purchase, we get a little portion of that sale. And all those little portions really do add up, helps keep the Gaming Gang around, and I certainly appreciate everyone out there who does that for us. Thank you very much. All right. Anyway, that is it for this time out. As I mentioned previously, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, ring that notification bell. It'll tell you when I upload videos such as this, as well as inform you when the Daily Dope streams live here on YouTube Monday through Thursday nights. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. All right, thank you very much for watching. Of course, until next time, as I've been closing out my videos during this pandemic, unfortunately, please do your best to be smart and stay safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, let me point out that the things I'm going to be pointing at, if you are just watching the Daily Dope stream, you may not see what I'm pointing at. Usually it will take about 12 hours once the stream is finished for YouTube to allow me to add my end screen. But if you're watching one of my other videos, such as my reviews or interviews, first looks, page throughs, what have you, well, then, by all means, click right here, and you can subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel. If you click right up here, you'll find the latest episode of my live stream, The Daily Dope. And if you click over here, that's going to show you something that YouTube thinks you might like. Regardless, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thank you very much for watching.